This Friday marks World Mental Health Day. This year's theme focuses on access to services, mental health in catastrophes and emergencies. And we have Dr. Holly McKenna with Dara Wellness joining us now. Why is that the theme this year? Why is that theme relevant right now?
Well, I mean, as we know, we have so many things happening at us, and whether it be the government shutdown causing staff shortages that could lead to emergencies, or locally we've had dealings with weather or with violence. And unfortunately, it's an ongoing theme, and it's something that can strike families and individuals and really make mental health a severe need that may not seem as accessible in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times after some of these big catastrophes, you do hear like mental health services have been provided to the students, or, mental health services are being provided here. What does that look like? What does that mean in the wake of a catastrophe? And sometimes those aren't, sometimes we hear about it, but sometimes it's not available, right?
Right. So there are folks that go in like a disaster psychiatry type of response, or like behaviorists that go in. And it really is about that immediate safety and kind of grounding folks, knowing that they are safe now and that their immediate needs are met. But then if it's an ongoing tragedy, looking at things like if they are on medications, are those in place? Do they have a sense of community so they can feel that support? Because, oftentimes when there is a tragedy, you feel very alone in it, but you're not alone, but you need that reminder that there are people there for you.
Absolutely. When I think about some of the recent tragedies we've seen, or even about big weather events, like you said, that can be a tragedy that a community has to face together. I often think, because I'm a mom, I think about the kids. Yeah. How do kids respond to this? I feel like a lot of times we brush them off as, oh, kids are so resilient. They'll figure it out. And maybe they will, maybe they won't. How does it affect them specifically?
Well, kids really need routine, and they are very influenced by their grown-ups, right? So like when the grown-ups are holding on to this stress and dealing with these stressors, kids absorb that like a sponge. And oftentimes, we're both moms as well-meaning grown-ups. We might think, well, I shouldn't talk to my kids about this. It's going to scare them to expose them too much. But then they come up with their own stories. So it's important to have an open conversation at an age-appropriate level and answer whatever questions may come up. I think Sesame Street does a great job with this. Mr. Rogers did back in the day. Yes. We all remember him talking about looking for the helpers.
Looking for the helpers,
right?
Absolutely.
And really pointing out how people are stepping up to help each other. And then oftentimes kids, I guess because their hearts are so pure, will come up with ideas of how they can help in their little bubble, whether it be like, oh, mommy, can we draw a picture? Can we send something? Yeah. Schools will often do this. And I feel like that helps them feel like helpers and then grow up to be adults that are able to step in and help when things are happening.
So in a way, are you suggesting we let the kid, talk to them in an age-appropriate way, let them guide how they want to play or draw or work through this themselves?
I think that's important. That's something that we did after Katrina. We did a lot of guided play and drawing. Sure. But when we talk to the kids who are now older during Katrina times, they say like people didn't ask them about it. So I think the having the conversation is super important. Every generation has something that they can think of that happened and how it was handled by the adults around them or not. I'm a Gen X, so we all know what that is. Yes. But having those conversations and that vulnerability and showing them how you're dealing with it is going to be a great way to guide. And then checking in and using tools, using things like Sesame Street, using books, using ways to show them how to center themselves, how to do breathing exercises, how to check in with their hearts and express what they're feeling, and helping them with those words if they're not sure how to express those feelings. That's going to be super important too.
Yeah, a lot of those same things that are good for us in those stressful moments are also good for the kiddos, so we can kind of, model that for them.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Dr. Holly. Always such great advice.